You know, listen, I want to talk about excuses for a minute as I lay a foundation for what I want to share. Excuses, excuses. We live in a generation that makes excuses for their sin. So we tell God why we can't quit some habit or sin, or why we think it's too hard to serve God, it's too hard to come to all the church service, it's too hard to do the things that they're asking at church, it's too hard, oh, this is hard, that's hard. And we got excuses for everything. That's why the streets are full of people who don't want to work, because they got excuses. You know, it was never like this. There are other countries. Let me tell you, there are other countries, and certain parts of other countries. There was one, not China, but the country outside of China they're trying to steal. What is that one called?
Taiwan.
Taiwan. You know in Taiwan they don't have any homeless people? They have no pollution. Did you know that? You can't even spit on the street. If you drop a piece of gum, you get a ticket. I mean, there's like, but here in America, man, I see people walking down the street throwing trash, spitting, throwing, peeing on the floor in the middle of the street. They don't care if anybody's watching. Freedom has its, you know, there's issues with it.
Yeah.
And so, excuses. And I read recently some actual insurance reports. These are true reports that came in from accidents. This is what people said. She said, the telephone pole was approaching fast. I was trying to swerve out of its path when it struck my front end. An invisible car came out of nowhere, struck my vehicle, then vanished. The pedestrian had no idea which direction to go, so I ran him over.
Oh my God.
You know, most people, if we're honest, right? If we're honest, we're in denial when it relates to our sin, if it's our sin. How many know that sometimes it's easy to see other people's sin?
Yeah.
It's easy to see other people's problems, right? But when it comes to our own sin, we're blind to it. We don't see it. You know, and sometimes we're so desensitized, we're doing the exact same thing. It kind of reminds me of the Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats are always blaming the Republicans for doing ABC when they're the ones doing ABC.
Yes.
It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. That's why I got rid of cable. I can't even watch it anymore. It's nuts. Amen. But when it comes to sin, it reminds me of the guy who was eating worm-filled dates one time. He was a desert nomad who woke up in the middle of the night, right, in the desert in a tent. And he was hungry, so he lights a candle and he starts eating some dates from a bowl that was beside the bed. He took a bite out of one end, he saw it had a worm in it, so he threw it out of the tent. He bit another one, it had a worm in it, so he threw it out of the tent. Finally, he said, if I keep this up, I'm not going to have any more dates. So he blew out the candle and finished off the dates. That's how people that do sin.
Yeah.
As long as you don't